Welcome to this video on Introduction to Excel Functions Part 4. In the previous video, we looked at the if statement, the simple if statement, and the nested if statement. Now we're going to look at the IFS, which is the if statement. Like I said earlier, the if statement was introduced in 2016. So if you don't have a 2016 version, you are not likely, or you're not going to see this function. But if you have later versions of 2016, you will see the if statement. Now, the if statement does exactly what the nested if does, an improvement on the nested ifs, or nested if statement of the previous video. Now, we'll also look at the rank statement, which is a function that is used to allocate position to numbers. Now, let's look at our data. This is the data we used in the previous example. We're also going to use the same data. This time we're looking at grade, and we already have our grade band here. Now we are going to look at the ifs. Now this is the logic. You say the equals to ifs. You state your logic 1, the value if your logic 1 is true. Now instead of taking another if, you just state your logic 2 straight away and take the value if logic 2 is correct. You state until all your logics are done. So under the if statement, there is no position for value if false. You have to state all the logics and their value if their statements are true. So I'm going to start here saying equal to ifs, and I take my tab to open up bracket. I define my first logic, which is 50 and below. So I place on this, if this value is less or equal to 50, I take a comma because that's what we have here. I've done logic 1, value if true. That was asking me if value if true. Value if that statement is true, we have F. Now that is my first logic. Logic 2 is this middle range for C. So I'm going to say this value, no more if this time, less or equal to 70, and that gives me C. The next one is 71 to 80, which is this one, less or equal to 80. That gives me B. And then the last one is greater than 80. So I place this here and I say greater than 80. And that gives me A. Now let's look at our syntax now. By saying ifs, we defined our first logic, and this is the value if that first logic is correct. We defined our second logic, logic 2, and this is the value C if it's correct. We defined our third logic, less than or greater than 80, and the value is B, and then we defined our last logic, which is the value greater than 80 is A. Now I press my enter. I have a C. I just have to copy this one down. Now that is about that. Let's see if we're correct here. This is greater than. Now let's go to positioning. Now positioning, we use rank, which is this syntax equal to rank. N is the number that we are ranking, that's what N stands for, while R is the range of data where N is also a member. D is the order of ranking, whether you're going to rank in descending order or ascending order. Descending order simply means you are going to use 0, which means you are ranking higher numbers to be better position, while ascending order is ranking from the least to the top. So we're going to say equal to rank, and I go straight, I take rank. Now number, which number am I ranking? It's asking me number. I'm ranking this first value, that's the number, and I take a comma, and it's asking me for the reference, which is what we call our range. Now this number, I'm ranking it among the whole of these values. Now because that's going to be a fixed range, I put my $sign to lock up that place, and I take my comma. Now after comma we have the order. Now this is the order, descending order or ascending order. Now we are ranking bigger numbers with better scores, so we are talking of descending order. So I select 0, which is descending order, and I press my enter. Now having done this, I just copy down. Now let's look at this. Is person who took third, 82. This person took 51, had 87, and this person had 108. Now you see this is how to rank. Now let's look at those people who took look at this person took sixth. Let's look at the guy who took first. What score will it be? Certainly going to be above 88 because we've seen 88. Okay, this is 88.7 came first. So that is the ranking. Now let's go back and review our syntaxes again. We are using the ifs. You say ifs, you state your logic straight away. There is no further if. Now when you are using your rank, you state the number and the range that you are selecting the number from. D, of course, is the order. Now remember, I have put my $sign here so that this range does not shift. Now use your $sign to hold a particular range or cell fixed so that when you copy, it doesn't shift. Now if you look at that range now, the range is 6 to 138. And if I move down, you will still see the range is still 6 to 138. That's all we have to learn for this part of this training. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.